And at first, you're in every single bucket. So you got to put what's finance, marketing, sales, production,
Cooking, bottle
admin,
washer.
bottle washer, right? Yeah, so you put all those things under your name, and then you begin to identify, well, where's my zone of excellence, and begin to take some of those technician roles off and begin to wear more of a manager hat eventually. And there's another good one that I reference is Dan Martell, and he wrote a good book called Buy Back Your Time. So I would definitely encourage also to probably read those two books in tandem, right? You may revisit it and then follow it up with Buy Back Your Time. And I really liked the way he approached it. Is he said, you got to master the task and then you got to delegate it. Well, master might be an extreme, but you need to grasp it. You need to get a hold of that task and then delegate it to hopefully somebody who can do it a lot better than you. But you're laying out the framework, the structure, the system, the process, and defining what good looks like in that process. And so all of these are foundational steps to going from a solo or small entrepreneur with a handful of employees to a NVIDIA.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, and especially because it aligns so much with NVIDIA, or even like you mentioned Elon Musk, where you haven't necessarily launched anything yet, but you're already talking about that vision. You have the vision. I imagine the personal aligned with the business, and he had this vision of what he wanted to do. But then you start to kind of go through those steps to understand exactly like how that's going to happen. But it doesn't happen instantly. And I think that's one of the huge misconceptions around entrepreneurship, business, and life, frankly, is that you snap your fingers and then you're automatically on Mars. And there's a lot of steps along that process that sometimes we don't always hear about. So I appreciate you so much in breaking that down. Of course, providing some of those hacks as well too, things that we can kind of learn so that we can, end up being, quote unquote, on Mars, so to speak, in our own
Yeah,
businesses.
yeah. It requires a tremendous amount of patience and impatience at the
Yeah.
same time, right? It's impatience to be hitting those micro goals and a tremendous amount of patience to land on Mars. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I will Musk make it to Mars before he dies? I mean, I think at the rate we're going, probably yes, but I mean, like, he might not.
Right, right. And I feel like, and I don't know if you feel the same way. Like people, and maybe a lot of people listen to this, your high achievers, your type A people that are always driving. Sometimes we have to take somewhat peace, and that's where that patience comes in, and like being in the present part. It's not so much reaching the destination. It's not about reaching Mars. It's about the steps that you take to get to Mars, because you end up going farther and creating more trailblazing and opportunities than maybe were ever done before. And I think if we can lean into that and still like have that ambitious impatience, then that's kind of like that duality of where we should be trying to stay.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think it's a great way to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.